growing up in a big family with a disability was fun and trying all at the same time. Fun being we all played together, we all did stuff together, we all got in trouble together, so it was kind of a nice little mix of everything. But when my disability came into play, when Leonda called, you came running to help her out. Each of my siblings had quote-unquote jobs when it came to me. My older sister Dana had to do physiotherapy with me every day after school, and she was the one that would put on my night splints or my splints every day for school in the morning. My brother Caston's job was to give me or get me into the vehicle, and so when we were younger, he used to wheel me from inside to the vehicle, but then he found a quicker way of doing it, so he would give me piggyback rides every morning and every day after school to and from the car. So that was his job, was getting me into the vehicle, and his unique way was to give me piggyback rides, and he still does it to this day. Actually, if I go home to get into the house, he'll just say, "Hop on my back, sister, and I'll take you inside."
My job when it came to helping out with Leonda was to help her grab things that she needed, grab things that were out of her reach.
Her job was different than most of the other siblings. So growing up, we shared a bedroom together, so I would wake her up in the middle of the night to scratch my back or open the window.
Growing up with a sibling with a disability was quite normal. Everyone's seen the wheelchair right away, but for me, I just saw Leonda for who she was, and I thought she was normal.
To be honest with you, I was used to that role that my siblings played for me. The role where if I needed something, each sibling came running to do it, because that's what they were used to, is whenever I asked for help, they came running. Wherever they were, they came running.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't have any resentments towards Leonda growing up, with helping her out. Times when I wanted to go out and play, I would have to stay close by and wait for my name to be called out to just grab something for her or help her out. When we would share a bedroom together, I'd be woken up in the middle of the night to grab water, to turn on the fan, or even to rub her back. But we did what we had to do just to help Leonda out.
In that same sentence, I think being that young and having to do certain things for me, I do believe in my heart that created a lot of resentment towards me as we got older, especially in my teen years. My siblings found their own way outside of the house, and that involved hanging out with their friends or being able to go places and do things. And because of that, because of how overprotective my mother was, it formed a exclusion. So I was excluded a lot from the activities as we got older. Doing this project definitely put me in a place in my life where I had to go to some very sad places in my life. I sat down with each of my siblings individually, and I had a personal conversation with them, and I asked them, did you have any resentment towards me because of the things you had to do? And each of them admitted to me on separate occasions that yes, they did resent me, but they would do anything for me today. They would be there for me in a heartbeat. And as an adult, I came to understand and put myself in their shoes. Do I, as an adult, hold that against them today? No. I understand that they each played a significant role in my life.
Mine and Leonda's relationship nowadays is that we're really close. It hasn't always been like that, but I would literally talk to Leonda almost every day just to fill her in and ask her how her day's been. And yeah, just closer than ever.
They help shape who I am today. Without my siblings, I wouldn't be here without them. And I'm extremely grateful for each of my siblings. I love them each with all my heart, and I am very grateful for them for what they did do for me when we were kids.
My favorite memory of Leonda and I growing up would be the time when we got attacked by thousands of fire ants. I had to protect Leonda first and take the eating and the bites.
Another one is when she'd be playing that Nintendo game, and she'd be sitting there playing, this little tiny girl playing, and she'd be sitting there, and when she'd sit, and then when she had to go a certain way, she'd keep on going. She'd be tilting to her left side, to the side that was weaker, and then she'd just fall over and still will play, laying down.
Even when she was younger, we used to play double solitaire together, and she's a good card player.
Or when we would have our playful fights, I would attack Leonda and I would run and grab everything out of her reach just so she didn't throw it at me. Those times were fun.
One of the favorite memories is when she was to sit with me while I'm cooking or doing something. One day when I was making a Thanksgiving dinner, anyway, she was sitting there watching me. She was just this tiny little girl and getting the turkey ready, and then I put butter on the turkey. She said, "What are you doing? How come you're putting butter on there?" And I didn't know how to explain to a little girl that I'm putting tanning lotion on the turkey. So, and then what are you gonna do after that? Turkey in the oven, and I tell her that's the beach, and that's how she described understood it as a little child.
And another memory is, as a stepfather to this house here, to the kids and all everybody in the house here, I'd do a perimeter check outside after everything was locked up. I'd go walk around the house with my flashlight and checking around, make sure there's nobody crawling around the house. And her having a room downstairs, I'd walk by and I'd see a light on, and all of a sudden it'd go off just like that, because they knew they weren't supposed to be awake after a certain hour. So I just walk by, and even though they put off the lights, I just tapped the window, making sure they heard me, and I knew I was outside.
Leonda believed that she didn't come from my stomach. She believed, like when I was a young girl myself, that I had my leg was broken when I was a little girl, and I had this scar on my leg, and she had seen that when I had a pair of shorts on. She seen the scar, and she asked me what was that for? What happened there? And I told her that's where you came from. And then she told everybody after that, and I didn't know that. She was telling everybody, I'm the only one that came from my mom's leg. And that's what she said. The kids would say she said that, and it was such a good memory, and for her to think that.
And I love you, Leonda. You're like a real daughter to me. You're like part of my own flesh. I take you as my real daughter. You are my daughter, and I love you.
I love my Leonda. I took care, did the best I can, and it was hard. It was stressful. It was really tough.
I love you, Leonda. Thank you for being my sister, and thank you for the childhood memories.